The decision on working with DUMAC is a lot bigger decision than just do they have good registers or do they have a good product. It had to do with being a smaller franchisee. I don't have an IT department, and I believe that I was looking for a partner that could provide more consultation than just here's the register you want to buy or here's the computer you want in your back office. And in the 16 years I've been working with DUMAC, I've seen them evolve, but they've never lost the focus of that I'm the customer and that what we do is important to their business. And every time I've been able to step back, and if I've got a crisis, they've been there to resolve the crisis. I'm not an IT guy. I'm a hamburger cook, but they've taught me how to use the IT pieces, and I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have them. What SBOnet has done for us is it's allowed us to have the numbers sliced and diced without having to sit there and do the homework. It takes the information that's pounded into the registers and brings it out to us in a usable format that's very understandable for the managers and for us. And the financial implications are just enormous. I mean, when we first started down the path with SBOnet, we had an enormous amount of resistance. The managers even had a term for it that we called it SBOnet, just because the accountabilities that it lays out for you just tighten down your operation, makes you be honest with yourself and say, well, the math is 100% right. So if it's telling us we have waste, we truly do have waste. I can cite so many examples of where it's saving us money and making us smarter operators. I've seen inventory reductions just with the ordering piece of it in the range of 25%. Those are dollars that get to stay in my checking account a little bit longer than they used to. The advantage to the ordering system tightening down our inventories is we're able to spot the waste even better. So once, back when we first started with SBO, we were focused totally on what we're wasting and how to get that under control. The key to it was moving to the ordering and trusting those numbers. Once those numbers were laid out for us, we tightened down the orders. The variances start tightening down. It's a lot easier for a manager to spot an item missing off the shelf if it's the only item on the shelf. Before there was 3. Now there's only 1 sitting there. If somebody takes it or we misuse it, we're spotting it a lot earlier. So the huge advantage is it's doing the grunt work for the managers, and it's making my managers a lot smarter than they were before. And they haven't changed people-wise. They just have a little bit more tools at their disposal. We've been on it for about a year and a half now, and worked through it to understand it. 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, when we first started down the path, we were running a variance that was well over 2.5%. We're not the best operators in the world, but we pride ourselves on doing things the right way. Now our variance is down to about 1.25%, and particular restaurants are even getting tighter than that. I've been in the Wendy's world since 1980. I've been through many back office systems. People might remember Ross and how well that helped us control things. Well, this is Ross to the 10th degree. I mean, I went and looked at Clearview. I went and looked at several of the other, I'm just drawing a blank on what they are, but because they didn't impress me as far as how many pieces were in place. I was even a member of what was supposed to be called WeHost at Wendy's, and we were heading to their piece. And the neat things about WeHost that they were showing us, DUMAC has already developed that in their smart back office, and they're taking it even a step further. What I like about the data, the fact that the data is there, and I can pick up the phone and call my representative and say, you know what, I need to data mine. I'm looking for an answer to this. Can you help me? And next thing you know, I've got a report that allows me to mine the data that I'm looking for. So the big difference between all the other softwares that are out there, or back offices that are out there, and DUMAC is, I think DUMAC has, most of the folks that I deal with at DUMAC has lived my world. They've been in the business. They understand what we're talking about. A lot of them still have the ketchup in their blood. They're still when I describe a problem in a restaurant and how can I help me with it, they can put themselves in that position and say, okay, I understand, and let's work through it. So I think that's a huge advantage that DUMAC has that I don't see out there with all the other groups.